feel like I'm being like none of these are working out because like they're not meant to work out, but like I don't feel like I'm being put any closer to like what is meant to work out.
I have been thinking about making this video for a while now, but kind of dreading it because I think it's a hard thing to talk about. But I feel like I need to talk about it because I haven't really seen anyone else talking about it, and I wish when I was going through this whole journey, I had someone to go to or a video to watch or anything, anyone to know that I wasn't alone and that other people had gone through the post-graduation funk and made it through the other side. I know it's a thing that impacts a lot of people, but like I said, I just don't think anyone talks about it. But we need to talk about it because people graduate not really knowing what they're walking into, especially if they're thinking about taking a gap year or, you know, we'll just get into it. So, just a little bit about me. I graduated in June with my Bachelor's of Science in Human Physiology. I got my dream internship, um, which I'd wanted since I was a sophomore. I had the best time, had the best experience. I never saw myself doing a 9 to 5. I never saw myself working in an office setting, but the work that I was doing meant the world to me, and the people I got to do it with were incredible, and it changed my whole trajectory and made me interested in public health instead of physical therapy. And my internship was supposed to get extended. We had last minute budget cuts literally 2 days before my internship was set to extend. And I went from, being at school, while I was at school, I've been working at least one, usually two jobs since I was in high school. So I've been working since I was 15, 16, to continuing to work while I was getting my undergrad, being a full-time student, doing startups and working on organizations and all of that, being busy 12 to 14-hour days while I was at school, on top of getting a really hard degree. The human phys degree at my school is the pre-med, pre-physical therapy track. If people aren't doing biology or chemistry, to me, it was always really hard. And so I was always busy. I was always grinding, and I was always working on something. So to go from constantly being busy, like leaving my house at 8 and not coming home till 9, 10 at night, that was my norm. So going from that to my internship started before school even ended. So I actually had to move back to Portland to start my internship while still trying to do finals, while still graduating, packing up my whole life. It all moved really fast to working full-time for 3 months and then having nothing. And I don't want to say nothing, but nothing career-wise. And it was really hard for someone who likes being productive and is used to being busy and likes being busy to having all of this free time. It could be really hard. And when that happens, especially when you're moving back home, which I moved back home, it feels like you're back at square one. Or I felt like I was back at square one. It felt like I might as well have been back in high school. I found myself asking, like, what was the point of me going to school if it's still so hard for me to get jobs? I applied to jobs day in and day out. It was incredibly frustrating. It was incredibly exhausting because each time that I was doing cover letters and customizing my resume, I had to convince myself to want that position so bad in order to make an application that was convincing enough. So you put in the work, and then you wait, and then you wait, and you don't hear back. If you're lucky, you'll get an email saying you were rejected. But what was so frustrating is that most of the time, people don't even take the time to tell you that you didn't get it. You just never hear back. And that was my life for a few months. And it was so frustrating because I worked my ass off. I worked my ass off during college. I worked my ass off during my internship. And I know I'm capable of whatever position if just given the chance. Like, I know if I don't know it, I'll figure it out. But it found us so, maybe it was because I wanted to do healthcare specifically. I don't know how much this pertains to other fields, but for mine, they wanted people that have 5 to 10 years of experience. And 5 to 10 years ago, I was a teenager, you know? And it's so hard to get your foot in the door. And for me, what I found, like really going back and forth with myself, is I have a ton of experience for someone my age. I know that. I don't even mean to be cocky in that, but I've been grinding. So I know that I'm not the usual like recent grad. But when they're looking for 5 to 10 years of experience, and 5 to 10 years ago I was a teenager, how am I supposed to compete with that? You know? And what was frustrating is I feel like when I was in high school and everybody was picking their major, my family, and maybe this is pretty common amongst other like cultures as well, is like, oh, don't do the arts, like do sciences, the arts you're not gonna find jobs, etc., etc. But then graduating with a bachelor's degree means nothing, because you have to go to physical therapy school or med school or nursing school or PA school or get your master's or a PhD. Like, in my experience, having a bachelor's degree in sciences doesn't mean shit. You put yourself through hell during your undergrad, and for what? And that was so frustrating. That was so frustrating. I tried so hard to stay positive. I tried so hard, but when you get put in that funk, it's really hard to try to get yourself out of it and to continue applying even though no one's getting back to you, and continue to networking and looking for jobs and researching companies, and it's exhausting. It's honestly exhausting. And then to have interviews where you feel like you killed the interview, and then they never even get back to you after the interview to tell you whether or not that you got it or not, was so frustrating. But there were some positives, and I want to use this video to focus on the positives in case anyone else is going through that or this, or might be going through it come a few months from now. Is there are positives. And the first one being is Oprah has this podcast, which is an amazing podcast. I strongly recommend listening to it if you haven't already, where she starts each one with saying the most important thing you could give yourself is time. And in this world, you could buy anything and everything, but so far there's been no way to buy time. And having this time off really gave me a chance to reflect on myself. It gave me a chance to learn a lot about myself, and it gave me a chance to grow. And when your self of worth isn't attached to your productivity, it really makes you think about a lot. So I feel like in these past few months, I was able to learn a lot about myself, and I was able to outgrow a lot of my bad habits. and a lot of insecurities, a lot of things I needed to work out on myself, and I just wasn't giving those things enough time until now. The second being that it really gave me a chance to work on my relationship with God. I feel like that honestly might have been one of the reasons why all of this happened. Because I needed to be closer to him, or her, or them. And in these past few months, I got the chance to work on my connection and strengthen that. The third being I got to learn about a lot of random little things, because I had the time to research and teach myself a lot of those things, and it really taught me that I love learning, and I'm a lifelong learner, whether that's in a classroom setting or not. And in this day and age, you have the capacity to learn anything you want. Anything. Whether you want to learn how to code, whether you want to learn a new language, you want to learn a new hobby, a new skill, like, you have the ability to do that. But the only person that's going to be able to do that for you is you. I also got to work on being optimistic, which is something I've struggled with a lot of my life. I'm not a very optimistic person, but the past few months, been 7 months now, have really taught me the importance of having a positive mindset, because at the end of the day, you're going to attract to you what you're putting out there in the world. And I genuinely believe what is meant for you will find a way to you. You just have to have faith in that. And everything that isn't working out and all the rejections you're getting are either because it's not the right door for you ever, or it's just not the right door for you right now, and it will work out in the future. Looking back at the time that all of this happened, it was really hard to know why it was happening, but I could look back now and know that I would not be here right now had things not worked out the way that they did. Because the positions didn't work out, I got a chance to work and put a lot of attention into my college applications, which is how I got into Columbia. I got the chance to work on scholarship applications, and every rejection that I got actually led me towards being back at my dream company, and led me to work in a team with the women who have had such an impact on who I am today, and the person who I'll be working for with my internship starting in 2 weeks. She is the person who made me interested in healthcare my sophomore year to begin with, and made all of this possible, and led me to even look into an industry I had never before considered. So it's a really full circle moment, and it's the most perfect timing in that I'm wrapping up with scholarship applications, and it's going to be a 6-month internship, so it will be ending right in time for me to start grad school, which at this time I believe I'm going to be starting Columbia come fall 2019, which is insane. I'll make a whole nother video about that, because that's been a debate going back and forth so far, because it's so expensive, and I'm a really cheap person, so trying to wrap my mind around that has been hard. But again, different video. But had the other stuff that I've applied to worked out, I wouldn't have been able to accept this position. And this position that I will be starting in April actually puts me and aligns me to achieve a way further goal that I had set for myself, which is a fellowship, which is not to come for 2-3 more years, but it was on my vision board, and I was wondering how I was going to make it happen, and it found its way to me, if that makes sense. And another thing I recommend is really make a vision board and be really specific with your intentions and what you want, And I genuinely believe that is going to be how you attract things to you. You have to be specific. You have to know what you want, and you have to know why you want it. And if you're one right now anxious or stressed about what's gonna happen to you come graduation or life after graduation, or you've been in the same boat the past few months and graduated last year, I just want you to know that you're not alone. I see you, I feel you. I fully believe that what is meant for you is going to find its way to you. I just want you to stay positive. Although I know that's not easy. And trust me, I've had many mental breakdowns. I had many highs, many lows the past few months. It hasn't been easy if you've been feeling it, and if you're going to be going through it, there's a chance it might not be easy, but don't give up. Have faith in yourself and your abilities, and use this time to work on you and do everything that you can to be as competitive as a candidate as you can be when the dream job comes around for you. Whatever you believe in, God, the universe, spiritual beings, whatever it is, the shift in my thinking happened when I recognized that they are working for me and not against me. The world wants you to succeed. They want you to find your path. They want you to find your awakening, your purpose, your mission. They're working to help you be on that path. So recognize that and help them help you find what you are meant on this world to do. And in the description of this video, I'm also going to link some specific videos, speeches, podcasts that really helped me, because I think that'll be a good place to start if you might be feeling like this as well. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you if you stuck through this whole video. You're not alone. You got this. I have faith in you. And just stay positive. I hope to see you for the next video.